and welcome to At Home with AJ. I'm glad that you could welcome the Kingsville Public Library into your home and that you could join me in mine. Today we're going to talk a little bit about food. After all, it's all over the news, whether we're talking about the food supply, what's on the shelf at the grocery store, or just the cost of food. It's a huge subject. And it's come up lately with my friends and my family. What should I be buying at the grocery store? What do I need to stock up on? And if you look at any of the pantry lists that are out there, one of the things that always seems to be at the top of the list, if not at the very top, is white rice. Why is that? I don't even like white rice. Well, one of the reasons is it's extremely economical. You can buy white rice for less than $1 a pound. The other reason is the shelf life. It virtually lasts forever. As long as it's stored properly, you can keep white rice for an infinite amount of time. So, when you go to the grocery store, you'll want to pick up some white rice, which is what I did the other day. I went to the local grocery store, and of course, sadly, the only thing that was available was this, 20 pounds of white rice. So, I'm going to show you today some of the fabulous things you can actually do with white rice and why it should be at the top of your pantry list and in your pantry today. So let's get started. When I said we had a lot going on, I wasn't kidding. So let's talk about how easy it is to prepare white rice. It's not only fabulously versatile, but it is super simple, and that's another reason to absolutely love it. The first dish that we have here is going to be our chicken one, and you can use either powdered type of chicken broth. You can buy this at pretty much any grocery store. I like it because it has a nice long shelf life. You just add water to it and put it in your pan. You're ready to go. So in our chicken mixture, we have some celery, some carrots, chicken broth, and our water, and we're ready to go. Remember that you can find the recipes or guidance for all of this in the comment section down below, and as a rule, always check the package of your rice to make sure that the content is 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. That's kind of standard, but not always. So this one's ready to go. I'm gonna put that one on the stove. We won't turn it on just yet because I'm not able to watch it. Our next one is our beef one. If you like a beef type of rice-a-roni, I was raised on that. Absolutely love it. This one again is really easy. You can use broth that comes in a can. The same as the chicken. This chicken comes in beef, ham-based, and a vegetable one. Again, very versatile, nice shelf life. These are also super great. Liquid, boom, you're ready to go. Or, if you don't have this in your pantry, this is another great thing to stock in your pantry. You can flavor a lot of different things with this. It is just soup mix, onion soup mix. This one's the beefy onion soup mix. And I have literally poured a package of the dried mix into this with 2 cups of water. Again, some carrots, some celery, and of course some garlic, because garlic needs to go in everything. And we have all our ingredients for this one. This one's ready to go. This is going to be our beef one. So our next one is our Spanish one, Mexican one, depends on what your take is on it. I have actually used chicken broth for part of my liquid because I think it, again, gives it some extra flavor, makes it a little yummy. I've got a little oil in there. For the other part of my liquid, I have used tomato sauce to give it that, tomato rich flavor. I'm going to throw some chives in there. 1, because I have some left over, and 2, because I think it'll give it a nice little kick. I have also thrown a little basil in there. If you want to make it a little different, you could throw some cilantro in there. Again, just by varying that one spice, you'll get a totally different flavor, which is fabulous. And I always like to put just a little bit of sugar anytime that I'm working with a tomato-based type of product, simply because it takes the bitterness or that after bite out of the tomato. So that's what we have in that one, and it's ready to go on the stove. And then our last one, kind of our dessert rice that I have mixed up here. This is going to end up being a rice pudding, and no, I won't put garlic in that one. I'll put my next favorite thing in there. So I've put a little butter in there. My liquid is my milk. I have some cinnamon and nutmeg in there, and of course my favorite. I won't talk about this today, but make your own homemade vanilla. So I've got some homemade vanilla in there, and that one's ready to go on the stove. So right out of the gate, we've got 4 very different dishes on the stove ready to go, that once I crank up the heat will be ready in about 20 to 30 minutes. The other one I'm going to show you is some fried rice. That one's really fun. We'll do that next. Alrighty, so we've got all of our rices back here on the back burner. They have reached a full boil, and I've now turned them down to a simmer. The one thing that I forgot to tell you is when you turn your rice pudding down to a simmer, that is when you'll want to add about a tablespoon or 2 of either regular sugar or brown sugar. I don't like to do it when it's actually coming to a boil, because sometimes the sugar tends to stick to the bottom and scald, so it's better to add it once it's laying down. So we're going to make some fried rice, and for that I have busted out my handy dandy wok, and I'm going to grab my spatula over here. I'm going to get a little butter going in here. It is a little smoky. Turn this down just a little bit. So I actually pre-cooked some of my white rice, and they recommend that you do that. And one of the reasons they recommend that you do that is because, if you can see, I can show it, it kind of maintains its individual graininess that way when you pre-cook it. And all I did was cook it in some of my powdered, this is vegetable broth, the powdered stuff, and then put it in the refrigerator. It's kind of sitting wonky. Ooh, it's wild. So we're going to melt a little butter in there, and the first thing we're going to do is cook some of our vegetables. So I'm going to throw in some carrots. Get some carrots going in here. And I have some celery. And the fun thing about fried rice is it's one of those, like many of my favorite recipes, go clean out the refrigerator. See what you got going in there that you're not going to use, that's going to go bad, and use it up, cook it up. Because there is no point in saving money at the grocery store when you purchase things if in fact you don't end up using all of it. That is the biggest way to save money in your grocery budget, is to use what you purchase. Now that I have those moved around a little bit, I am going to throw some low sodium soy sauce in there. Just a little bit of that. I'm also going to use a little bit of garlic infused oil, which is easy to kind of do your home with just I have mine in a Coke bottle. So a little bit of garlic, because you know, you gotta have garlic. Don't want those vampires hanging around, right? And I'm gonna put just a little bit of chicken broth in here, just because I have some left over from the other rice, so just to give it a little extra liquid. And I'm just going to kick those vegetables around until they get a little bit tender. You don't want them completely cooked at this point. You're just going to want to get them partially cooked, get them tender, so that when you're eating that rice, when it's all done, that you're not eating crunchy vegetables that feel uncooked, but at the same time you don't want mushy, overcooked vegetables. It's looking good. Well, my vegetables are looking pretty good there. They're getting a little, the onions are taking on some nice color. They're getting a little browned up there. So now I am ready to go ahead and add my rice. And at this point you can add your protein if you want to. I have some pre-cooked chicken that I'm just going to throw a little bit in there. Again, from leftover dinner the other night. And just a little more chicken broth to kind of mix things up a little bit. Maybe just a little bit more garlic, because you know you can never have too much garlic, right? And we're just going to put the heat up on this a little bit and kick it around till it gets nice and combined, and heat it up real good. And again, by pre-cooking your rice and then refrigerating it before you add the next element, lets it have that kind of individual grain to it, prevents the clumpiness. There's certainly no harm in, you know, adding your ingredients right on the stove if you wanted to for a quick and easy meal. But again, if you want a little more pretty in your presentation, go ahead and refrigerate your rice after you cook it before taking it to the next step. So once we get this all moved around and combined, in here I'm going to add my last element, which is of course my egg, because you know you don't have fried rice without a little egg in there. And I have taken a beaten egg. I'm just going to throw that in there. And then I am just going to continue to move this around and throw some of it around on the floor. And I'm just going to move it around until that egg becomes fully cooked. And once our egg is fully cooked, we will have fried rice. And there you have it. This was a 2-pound bag of rice that made all of these dishes. We have our fried rice ready to have some egg rolls join it. We have our beef rice that's ready to go alongside of your roast or your beef tips. We got a lovely chicken dish with a little side of broccoli. You have a lovely meal there. We have your Spanish or Mexican style rice that's just waiting for a burrito or a taco. And then of course we have dessert, our lovely rice pudding with the little caramel sauce over top made from some sweetened condensed milk. So it goes without saying that definitely white rice is economical as well as versatile and should definitely be something that is in your pantry. Thanks for welcoming the Kingsville Public Library into your home today and joining me in mine. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share so that your friends can become our friends. If you try any version of this recipe, please post it in the comments and let me know how you did. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can email us reference@kingsvillelibrary.org. Stay safe, stay well, practice that good social distancing, and we'll see you real soon. You want some rice? You can't have any rice. Do you want a cookie? What do you need to do for a cookie? Good boy. Here's a cookie.